Welcome to Country Files. My name is Joshua Petricat, your host. This is my first video, and today we're going to be talking about Japan. There's going to be a test later, so please pay attention.
Get ready for Country Files. It's 40,000 miles in just a little while. We're going to talk about Japan!
First off, Japan is located in Eastern Asia between the North Pacific and the Sea of Japan. It is actually made up of over 6,800 islands, but the main ones are Honshu, Hokkaido, Shikoku, and Kyushu. Japan is about the size of California, or just a little smaller, and has a population of about 127 million people. California has a population of about 40 million people, so Japan is pretty densely populated, especially since 2/3 of it can't be used for housing or agriculture because it is very mountainous. Could you imagine 127 million people fit in a third of California? Well, that's sort of what Japan is like. And even though Tokyo and other big cities are crowded like New York, you can still find some small peaceful towns with rice farms and beautiful scenery. Tokyo is the capital and has a population of about 13 million. Sometimes you will read that Tokyo has more than 30 million people, but that is including nearby cities and suburbs. Tokyo is Japan's center of government, business, and entertainment industry. That's kind of like Washington, D.C., New York, and Los Angeles all together. It is a very busy, modern place, but you can still see traditional-looking buildings. And there's so much fun stuff to do, whether you like concerts, movies, eating out, dancing, or just Disneyland. Let's take a look at what ethnic groups make up the population of Japan. 98.5% of the people in Japan are Japanese, 0.05% are Korean, and 0.04% are Chinese. The very small remainder of the population comes from a variety of ethnic backgrounds, so almost everybody in Japan is Japanese. That's very different from some other countries where you have a lot of diversity like the US or Canada. Now let's talk about religion. In Japan, 79.2% of the people say they have ties to the Shinto religion, which is Japan's indigenous religion, and 68.8% have ties to Buddhism. Only about 1.5% of the people are Christian. The percentage comes out to over 100 because a lot of Japanese people will participate in both Shinto and Buddhist ceremonies. For example, someone might have a Shinto wedding and a Buddhist funeral, hopefully many years after the wedding. But most Japanese people say they are not really religious. According to a World Values Survey, Japan has one of the most secular societies. Shinto and Buddhism are just thought of as traditions they got from their ancestors and where they got some of their customs and ceremonies. Japanese people normally go to a temple or shrine just once or twice a year as a custom for a special event like a wedding, funeral, or for New Year's. Japan is one of the least religious countries, but at the same time also one of the safest, with a very low crime rate. Tokyo has been rated as the safest city in the world by The Economist. Japan has about 10 gun-related homicides a year, while in the US, with twice the population, we have over 10,000 gun-related murders every year. Now, obviously, since Japan is a group of islands, they don't have any land borders. But they are relatively close to China, South Korea, North Korea, and Russia. Nihon, Japan in Japanese, means sun origin and is often called the land of the rising sun because for people in China, it looks like the sun is coming from where Japan is, from the east. The first people to live in Japan were people who migrated from the Asian mainland 30,000 years ago. Geologists say that at the time, Japan was actually connected to the Asian mainland, so some people gradually walked there a long time ago, probably over long periods of time as they were hunting or looking for good places to catch fish. About 2,500 years ago, groups of rice farmers migrated there. These rice farmers are probably the ancestors of modern Japanese people. In its early history, Japan was not a unified country. There were a lot of small tribes that settled in small farming villages in different places. Around the year 250 AD, the Yamato clan began conquering neighboring tribes. This was the beginning of Japan becoming a unified nation, but it took a long time because there were many struggles for power between different groups. In the next few centuries, Japan established relations with China and Korea, started using the Chinese writing system, and learned about Confucius and Buddhism. The Japanese were also influenced by other parts of Chinese culture, such as music and architecture. But at the same time, since Japan's an island nation, they did develop their own culture, and it also helped protect them from invaders. This was part 1 of my 3-part Japan video. Part 2 will be uploaded in about a week. So please subscribe and come back for part 2, or I'll be looking for you.